How you doing, Drew?
Well.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good to hear it. Man, you know what I forgot to do?
What's that?
I meant to do this before this live stream is have Christmas lights up.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm going to do that, and we're going to do a few more podcasts before Christmas. And we got to get in the festive spirit, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's almost Christmas time.
Where's the elf at?
Different dimension? Oh, wrong kind of elves, huh? Welcome back to another episode of Dev Talks Podcast with special edition Dev and Drew. Today we'll be talking about all sorts of subjects. We're going to touch on China filing a $50 billion lawsuit against Missouri, leading the charge. Talk about some Dane Crenshaw threatening to sue Sean Ryan. How about a little bit Candace Owens and Erica Kirk? I know everyone loved whenever I talked about Candace Owens last time. I'm kidding. Not many people like that. They were mad at me, and I love it. And from there, we're going to talk. We do need to talk about Amendment 3. What is Amendment 3, you may ask? It is the new conservative abortion fix that is on the ballot in 2026. We are going to go over the good, the bad, the ugly, why it's hard to swallow as a conservative, why I have made the stance I've made on it, and I hope everyone needs to do their own research, come to their own conclusions. I do not think it meets the criteria needed to be on the ballot as a abortion fix. So I'll just start that off with I'm publicly against Amendment 3. And I know the likes of Tom Crooked Estes is going to be saying, well, Devin Daniels is siding with Democrats. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm siding with life. We will get into that a little bit later today. So we're going to start off with China. China. The great China has came out and sued Missouri for $50 billion. It's no laughing matter. What do you think, Drew?
$1
$1 billion.
What's supposed to happen with that? I reckon did we like evict them? Did we like repossess the land or?
We're in the process of repossessing the land. So all this farmland that China has bought up over the past, I don't know how many years, X number of years. Attorney General Andrew Bailey said, no, can't be owned by a foreign interest group, especially Communist Party. So he went and he filed a lawsuit. This was 2024 or 5, I think 2024. Filed the lawsuit, won the lawsuit. American can start seizing that property back. I think this all started with the Huawei towers. Do you remember anything about that?
No.
Huawei was this new, improved, amazing phone that came from China.
Okay.
Huawei towers started popping up all over close to military bases. Well, it was siphoning data off our military installations.
Surely not.
No. So the U.S. said enough of that. They got rid of Huawei, got rid of their phones. Well, their land, their towers, they stay on there. They're still siphoning data, and nothing the government can do about it because private land ownership, right? So I think the fix to that was Andrew Bailey coming in and saying, no more. We're taking our land back. And so we sued. We won. Of course, if you sue in Missouri for Missouri land against communism, you're going to win. And we are in the midst of taking all that back. So China comes back, throws its arms up, screams its shoulder, it's not fair. And then wants their land. Dang, that's gonna be bad, ain't it? But it's true. We're in 2025. We're in the screw your feelings phase of the world, and we can be a little offensive now. And we will be. So what do you think?
It's so bizarre, so strange to me. They not trying to play devil's advocate here, but
Yep.
but they paid for it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, they did.
And then we're just like, no,
Nah,
we
yeah.
don't really like that deal.
And I'm sure there's some type of no, I doubt it. Yeah, yeah, we pretty much took it back, I think. Which honestly,
They made it back on the Panama Canal.
and I think, well, I see, this is like the little gray areas with this kind of stuff. Is I think no one knew it was going to the CCP. I think we had some businessmen coming around to these farms saying, "Hey, we want to buy your farm for X amount on the dollars," and it was like a really good deal. And they're like, "Yeah, we'll sell for that because that could retire us." And they're like, "Finery, we're going to own America," Finery. So I think it was done in what's the word, like with deception.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Americans didn't know who they were showing it to. They got it. Then they own Missouri land, which is never good because communism does not need a foothold here.
Yeah.
Here, and a foreign interest does not need to own our farmland, our agricultural land that goes to feed Americans
Agreed.
and Missourians. So he took that back, and they're all in they're all in the legal battles, But the thing is, China can go ahead and sue all they want, but they're not going. What are they going to do? Come over here and take it from us? Try it, I
Yeah.
mean, what are they going to do? They're going to throw their little fits. Nothing's going to end up happening over this. Even if they win a lawsuit, America is not going to be like, yeah, you're right. Here's our land, and our courts are never going to do that.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of this is smoke and mirrors. It's
Political
China.
Theater.
Well, that, and I think it's China having to show that it's trying to fight, just so they have to save face with their people and their Communist Party. I'm going to be doing this a lot, and I hope it offends because it's going to be fun. It's funny, but China is attempting to rewrite history by playing the victim. China is always trying to play the victim in everything. We do no wrong. You told you to ship 50 Americans
Well, wasn't it like a specific part of China?
that bought this.
Or the suing? The
Wuhan.
suing.
Wuhan.
So okay. So the literal COVID place.
Well, let's read a little bit about this, and then we can kind of give off the cuff opinions.
Okay.
This is coming from KOMU.com news. Yeah. KOMU news. It's a syndicated news. China files $50 billion lawsuit against Missouri Attorney General announces. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway announced that China has filed a lawsuit against the state of Missouri demanding an equivalent of more than $50 billion in a Tuesday news release. Hanaway said the lawsuit was filed on behalf of the People's Government of Wuhan Municipality, the Chinese Academy of Science, and the Wuhan Institute of Virology, claiming that Missouri poses an economic and reputational threat to the People's Republic of China. Let's stop right there and talk because this is very interesting. Go ahead.
Okay, so so it was Wuhan, the virology, and they're worried about a PR.
They are. Well, ever since the COVID crisis began, because the Communist Party suppressed information, silenced whistleblowers, and delayed transparency, a regime that hid the truth from the world has no moral or legal standing to demand compensation. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my off-the-cuff opinion on this. I mean,
were they wanted to open up like a wet market or something?
well, honestly, I'm sure. Do you not think that is probably a concern of the Missouri government? Is they go back to this gain of function research inside Missouri?
Yeah.
I did hear. I don't know how conspiratorial this is, but they were working on a fungus that killed specific crops, and once it's released, because they can target certain. I'm not a biologist. Cells or something within a crop. So Missouri has a lot of soy. Do we have a lot of corn in the Boot Hill? Yeah.
Maybe in the Buddha.
I'm just using it as an example. So,
or maybe up at the Kansas border, probably too.
Okay, yeah. So, say Missouri has a bunch of soy and corn in two different spots. They can use this. I don't know if it's a disease, a virus, whatever it is. It's a biological weapon. They can trigger that to where it will only kill that main crop, and then put us to where we're not feeding our people, where we're not getting our farmers paid, yada yada. I mean, it is kind of scary,
Very scary. Franken foods.
Well. And on top of that, you have Frankenfoods. Yeah, you're right. But on top of that, Missouri is a sovereign U.S. state operating within the American legal system. Is the American legal system just going to be like, okay, yes, here's the land that we own that is on our sovereign nation, and give it back to you because you're throwing a fit? Sorry, China, you got played. You got played by Missouri. We're the best at it. We're the brightest. You ain't getting your land back.
Yeah. I like it that we're trying to, write it, but it how did this ever happen to start with?
Yes.
Who, like you said, maybe they thought it was a good idea for more money than they'd seen or whatever, but for a defense standpoint or whatnot, for the towers.
Well, I'm sure it happened under Biden, and I'm sure Biden was very friendly to the Chinese, and I'm sure they did not expect Trump to win this term, and for there to be consequences for their actions, and I don't know, a foreign authoritarian government, when they buy American land, I don't know, it's unacceptable. It's an intrusion into our sovereignty, into our self-governance. I mean, and another thing, this opens up a precedent about if China can sue us, what is stopping Iran, Russia, Afghanistan? So we'll never let this succeed. It'll fall flat on its back. Thank God.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Let me read a little bit more of this because it is interesting.
Very interesting.
The lawsuit comes as Missouri moves forward with plans to seize a $24 billion judgment against the People's Republic of China, the Chinese Communist Party, and the related entities for unleashing and worsening the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so this is punishment for the COVID-19 pandemic. As maybe what we're owed because they started it. You know, I mean, a worldwide pandemic. A U.S. district judge entered a verdict in this case after China did not defend itself in the lawsuit. The new lawsuit names the state of Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe, U.S. Senator Eric Schmitt, and former Attorney General Andrew Bailey as defendants. According to the news release, the plaintiffs argue Missouri's vexatious litigation has defamed plaintiffs' reputation. I'm sorry, China. China! Come on! Don't you have better argument than that? We don't care about your reputation. Never have, never will. You ain't got a good reputation here in Missouri.
So they originally, it was like they sued them or took it back because of COVID, and they didn't.
Missouri, yes.
And then they didn't show up or have anything to say about it. So we Missourians just won like a default judgment.
Yep,
then
default judgment.
And then
they're like,
now,
oh no, oh no.
Maybe we should have went to court.
Yeah, maybe we should have, but they didn't. China also argues Missouri has had negative effects on the soft power of Wuhan and has belittled the social evaluation, as well as adversely affected the productivity and commercialization of science and technological achievements of the Chinese Academy of Sciences and the Wuhan Institute of Virology. According to the release, the lawsuit demands that the Missouri officials issue public apologies on both major U.S. and Chinese media. Okay, this is all saving face. If they're demanding public apologies on U.S. and Chinese media outlets, that's all it's about, is saving face. Because China does not understand how America works, and they're thinking the government can just, or the government will say they're sorry, and then, you know, they'll saber rattle over their back. We made Americans say sorry. You know, it's like, no, we're not doing it. Yeah. It is very interesting, though. This is a quote. Okay, the lawsuit demands compensation totaling 356.4 billion Chinese yuan, equivalent to 50.5 billion US dollars, as well as any legal fees which occur and the right to claim further compensation according to the release. I got to quit doing that accent because I'm starting to, according to the release, you know. This is a quote. I've been banned from communist China and now I'm being sued and targeted by communist China in a $50 billion lawfare campaign, and I'll wear it like a badge of honor, Schmitt said. This is Eric Schmitt said in a statement. Instead of trying to defend its indefensible behavior, communist China responded with frivolous lawsuits, attempting to absolve themselves of all wrongdoing. Well, man, that didn't work because it is a wrongdoing. In the early days of the pandemic, the novel lawsuit is factually baseless, legally meritless, and any fake judgment a Chinese court issues in this lawsuit, we will easily beat back and keep from being enforced against the people of Missouri or me. Strong words by Eric Schmitt, which is good. We need that because we can't give Chinese an inch.
No.
You know, they go ahead.
Oh, just agreed. You know, we need to start making things here, and I know that's not related to this issue, but just in general, they've got such power from all kind of manufacturing, economically, and they're becoming a superpower where they think they got like the biggest navy in the world or something like that,
and they do have the biggest army. So
yeah, well,
God
people
forbid,
wise, sure,
yes, if they get the Navy to, because that's what's not a problem right now, is China has such a big army, but they have nowhere to transport because they're Navy and Air Force. But they have been building up their naval fleet for a while now, trying to supersede America. And if they do that, then the Red Army could, it's not red, whatever they are. That's Russia and a Red Army. Or what? No, it's China.
I think so.
Yeah, so the Red Army could be on our shores, you know, which is very scary. But I don't know. Lawsuit is not about justice. It's about coercion. It's about intimidation. China routinely uses lawfare to pressure critics, silence dissent, and retaliate against governments that challenge it. Conservatives should see this as a part of a broader pattern of economic and political warfare.
I'm surprised that well, hopefully no one will kowtow to this, you know, but as far as, you know, apologizing, but it happens a lot. Like there was a lot of stuff that came out here lately, and more coming about Trump and like Mike Lindell's lawsuit with the Dominion voting machines and all that stuff.
Yep.
And if you remember, Fox News had to pay some absorbent amount of money over the Dominion because they defamation all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes. I do remember that.
Yeah,
now.
and then now it's coming out that that they were corrupted and then it was all true basically, but they still paid. I wonder if they'll give the money back.
Yeah. Well, if anything, Missouri is defending its citizens from one of the largest global failures of responsibility in modern history.
Yeah.
With just 2020 COVID pandemic that came from Wuhan. What did we hear over and over again? It's not the China virus. It didn't come from Wuhan. This was a natural born. Well, now we're knowing gain of function came out. This was all man-made.
It was like bat soup or something.
Yeah. Someone ate a bat and it caused this, but it didn't. Before China demands $50 billion, maybe you should answer some questions. Like, why were you suppressing doctors? Why was information...
And just what is your relationship with Mr. Fauci?
Exactly, but for real, like why were doctors suppressed on what they saw, what they knew, what they studied? International access delay. I mean, how long did it take for us to get to know about COVID? I mean, it had already spread before. I mean, I remember. Of course, I didn't watch the news much at that time, but it was already a pretty significant deal before America was like, "Oh shit, maybe we need to take this seriously."
Yeah, I want to say it was December-ish of 19 when it got on my radar for the first time, and I was telling people about it, and they were like, "Oh, I'm not worried about that." I was like, "Well, you might want to look at it." And I didn't have any idea what was going to happen, but they were showing these videos of people like spiraling and then falling down dead in the street and stuff, which COVID didn't do that. I don't know what that was, but that was a campaign.
Or did it?
Or did it, yeah.
Did you see that video?
Which one?
About China having 500 million less people that I sent you. The conspiracy on this is maybe COVID was bad. A lot worse than we think. Mm-hmm. Data that proves this would be cell phone carriers losing $24 million carriers in the COVID pandemic. China routinely seems like 500 million less people now. Crematoriums were operating 24/7 around the clock, where you had to get a waiting ticket to burn your loved one. They did ozone studies, and by they I mean I was watching this YouTube channel. He has it all broke down. A lot smarter at it than I am. I'm just kind of regurgitating. Yep. But he starts off the video with, when you go into a city, does it seem less crowded than 2020?
I try not to go into cities.
Well, okay. Well, like me and my wife, we were Christmas shopping in Springfield 2 weeks ago.
People are broke though, so probably less people.
Yeah, well, that's what they think. But if you go off cellular carrier data, we've got 24 million people who've just dropped off. That's 24 million less cell phones that happened because of COVID. Some people argue, but they had a second cell phone for work. I don't think 24 million people did. So the question that this raises is, was COVID as bad as we thought? And they suppressed that to make sure there was not worldwide panic? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. There was still pretty good worldwide panic.
Oh, no, I agree. But imagine if we knew a virus was going to kill 35% of the people.
Maybe we just cut off the Obama phones.
Exactly. Well, and I want to make this, like, I am not arguing that, the lockdowns or mask mandates or anything was needed or wanted or nothing. I'm just talking data, something interesting.
Yeah. Who knows? It's so hard to know. It's impossible to know. We only can rely on, people that are supposed to be, like you say, smarter than us and have better facts than we do. I mean, even in this country, like up in the Eastern Seaboard and stuff, they were saying there were massive buses and shipping containers full of dead bodies and stuff, and I don't know. Well, people say refute that. They say that didn't happen, but they were saying that at the time.
And in New York, we had ships, like a battleship that was turned into a hospital. I never heard anything on that if it was full. I heard it was empty, but
I heard it was empty too.
But who knows? I mean, and this is where I'm not getting that. It was bad. It was worse. We need lockdowns. I'm just simply saying we cannot trust mainstream media, news sources. We can't even trust doctors, because if they're bought and paid for, they're not giving us the real information. As per we see with what happened with COVID-19.
Trust the science.
Trust the science.
Yeah.
But then they withhold data.
Yeah.
They withhold crucial numbers, origin of virus, what the virus was. We didn't know about this until what, a year ago, 2 years ago, finally admitting a little bit of it. The same way with vaccines. Vaccines are safe. They're effective. You need to get the vaccine. They're not going to hurt you. Now they've got freaking studies coming out that these stupid vaccines kill children.
If you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID and you can't transmit it.
No, because you're going to be dead.
They didn't tell that one.
They did not, but they weren't lying with that little white lie. I don't know. Scary shit, man.
Very scary. And it could easily, I mean, who would have thought, I don't know, I'm sorry.
No, let's get in the weeds tonight.
Getting
Let's get in the weeds tonight.
Getting in
Come
the
on.
weeds for sure, but like, if you would have told me that would happen like that, I would have laughed in your face. No way would Americans ever be locked
for
down.
that.
No way would they ever wear masks. No way would they ever stand in front of plexiglass, 6 feet apart. No way. And it was so easy. It was so unbelievably easy.
There are still people today that you're driving down the road, enjoying your podcast, listening to your music, and you look over and there's just this one freaking blue-haired person with a mask on in her vehicle by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at that and it's like, I bet you masturbate with a condom on. It makes about as much sense.
It does.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying
Wouldn't have thought of that.
I'm not trying to be perverse or gross. I'm just making a point. Just making a point that it makes just as much sense as that to me. Remember, this podcast is 18 and above. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people are so ingrained and brainwashed into
Well, the critical thinking. They're
Yeah.
like, where's the critical thinking? Like, how deadly is this thing that so much of it drove me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, still thinking about it, I can't even hardly talk because I'm so aggravated. But like the plexiglass stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you go into your little country store and they got this plexiglass thing. It's like these people that they've born and raised here and you've known them for decades and decades, and they're smart people. It's like, what are people like actively sneezing
Educated.
on you? Are they like spitting at you as you're trying to take, Well, no, but it's the COVID thing. It's like, oh, so like this piece of plastic.
So
it's
you're captured.
It's so deadly that they have to run this thing up and scrape your brain.
yes.
That's how deadly it is.
Yeah.
But yet,
To find.
but spit out of your, well,
It's
what I mean?
going to, yeah. It makes no sense.
No.
We have to scrape literally your cerebellum to find this disease, but don't breathe on each other.
Yeah.
But that's what's bad, man. Is like common sense went out the window. And I don't know how we got into China, but I'm glad we're kind of talking about this because I don't think we've talked about COVID-19 yet, have we? No, not really.
No.
This is our first time.
No, yeah.
So
yeah.
breaking that COVID cherry on
Yep.
the Devin Drew show.
Yep.
Uh,
It leads into
but-
a lot of other questions.
people are so damn captured and brainwashed that if they get a narrative, which is going to lead
Yes,
perfectly
yes,
into
yes,
Candace,
Yes.
they get a narrative in their head, they will not look at any data that doesn't support their idea.
Yeah.
And they just go with it. You can't show them any facts. They put their blinders on. They go, la, 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 la.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I know. I don't know. It blows me away, man. So, did you happen to catch Candace in the past few days?
I did. Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. What do you think? Thoughts after Candace and Erica met?
To use, the buzz phrase of the day, is a big nothing burger. Really,
Big nothing
It was
burger.
just kind of more of the same. She's still kind of gonna approach it. I think she's still going to look into other things, but I think she's pretty well backed off of her.
She kind of went off the rails on Piers Morgan today.
Today?
Right back
I
on it.
missed that one.
Yep, right back to it, accusing Turning Point USA. I mean, she's grifted, man.
Yeah.
She's her position changes as her views come in, and she's going to keep by position change. I mean, different conspiracy. Like it was the Jews, it was the Egyptians, and there are some good questions
Sure.
that are being asked, but I don't know. I just feel like she's sensationalizing literally everything about this to the point where there is
Yeah.
no conclusion.
My concern about it, and I hope that there's nobody out there that's going to be sideways about this, and probably will though.
Probably.
But it has this very QAnon kind of thing to it for me. It's like Yeah, there's lots of conspiracies out there, for sure, and I've been known to wear tinfoil hats and things like that. But it where does it go? It doesn't seem to go anywhere. It's just
Mm-hmm.
on and on and on and on. It's like pick something, dive into it, and get a definitive answer one way or the other instead of you know.
I'd really like to touch on the human side of this for a second. Okay, imagine, you know, you and your wife are big talking heads at universities, and you were shot in the neck and killed, and then the next day, your best friend gets online accusing your wife of not being sad enough, the children not acting terrified enough. Like, we've lost the humanity in
Yeah.
in everything because
Yeah.
one, Erica has went through the most traumatizing thing a person, a wife could go through, seeing her husband publicly executed in the public square. I guarantee she never thought, oh, I better hold my eyes right, or I better make sure I look sad enough, or I better make sure that this is convincing. She was a real human going through a traumatic event.
Yeah.
No matter what happened to Charlie, no matter who, take out Tyler Robinson, take out whoever killed Charlie, which I believe is Tyler Robinson. Could there be more people? Absolutely. I think Tyler Robinson is guilty, but just take him out of it for a second. Her husband lost his life publicly, public execution, shot dead, and then she goes through a traumatizing experience, and everyone there, not just Erica, but his friends, everyone that Candace's went after.
Yeah.
She's asking, well, why did you call your mom right off the bat? And why did you call Erica right off the bat? They didn't know what the hell to do. I mean, you don't plan for something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, unless they were on the scene, which some of them were, but the initial reports were that he was being rushed to the hospital, and everybody's like, I know I was. I hit my knees and was crying and praying all at the same time.
Me too.
And so there was probably in that moment there was probably still hope. I mean, once I saw the footage, I was like, nobody survives that,
No.
But before that, when I was just hearing the initial reports, I thought perhaps maybe he could be saved or whatever. And so in that moment, you might make some phone calls.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and that's like I've gotten a lot of pushback on different social media platforms from my little video about Candace Owens being a Democrat,
Yeah.
and I tell them, they're like, why are you calling her down? I'm like, go back and watch the whole monologue.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta do. Which I clipped it at 58 seconds on purpose. That way they didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
It is.
But
It got me a little bit.
yeah, well, you were like, what are you going on with this? But there's a difference between seeking the truth and amplifying speculation that benefits your platform.
Well,
Yeah.
somebody raised I can't remember who it was. Somebody raised the point, and I it's how divisive this has become.
Yeah.
Like there's people on the conservative side of things, and people that are in the middle, whatever. They're just exhausted now.
Yeah.
Like they're tuning out now because of that. So it's a problem.
Well,
it's not helpful.
And the fracture of the conservative party.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get into that a little bit. Listen, man, we won the election. We won the Senate. We won the House. We won the presidency. We have done nothing. Trump has done some good things, but what has Congress and Senate and all three branches done together?
The one thing that they did, I guess it's the House, was they wanted to shut up Elon.
Yeah.
They did that.
They sure did. But we had a chance. And, I remember November of last year, I felt so positive about the direction of the country.
Yeah.
Like, sweet.
Yeah.
The conservatives finally did it. We blew through it. We won the popular vote. We won all the House. We won the Senate. We won the presidency. Now we can start doing real change and making this country back to what it was pre-Biden, pre-Obama.
Yeah.
And then Kirk gets killed. And the fracture starts.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying it. Was it Matt Walsh that was saying, whenever they killed Charlie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever they killed Charlie, everyone was like, we're all Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
But the reality sets in, and you realize they killed Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
We're not Charlie Kirk. We're never going to be what Charlie Kirk was to our movement, and we don't get another one.
Well, and instead of someone standing up and taking that mantle, you have somebody accusing everybody of killing him, and
just
then all the
attack everyone on
division.
your side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do this too, but you hear conservatives talk about unity. And it makes me roll my eyes half the time because to me it's like, those are the rhinos that are just wanting people to fall in line. But we do have to have some essence of unity to get this country, to get Missouri back on track. We have to unify as a party, because one thing, the liberals, the left, they unify around their hatred to Trump and their hatred to conservatives. We have nothing that unifies us like that. I really thought Charlie was going to do it whenever he died. I thought that was going to be the unifying moment. Boy, we have failed spectacularly since then.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of like that 9/11 moment. There was everybody. It was a huge moment, and it was like the Trump moment, the taking back everything. And I feel like that's, unfortunately, it's, we've rescued defeat from the hands of victory over and over so many times. We have some wins, but
we do. But do they? I don't know. Do they matter on the grand scheme of things? Because if a liberal, Gavin Newsom, if AOC, they get in the presidency, they're just going to undo everything that's been done.
Yeah.
And we're going to be right back to square one. And that's what scares me is, yes, we got change right now. But is it lasting change that's going to take effect and help my children, your children? No, it's things that are going to be undone with a swipe of the pen when the next president gets in.
Yeah.
We're close to losing the midterms. After all this crap, Candace is, I think, a lot to blame. And I don't see conservatives winning the midterm.
And, you got Mr. Fuentes, who's been saying that too for different reasons, whatnot. But he makes some valid points.
Yes, he does. He's smart.
He makes some valid points about how, you want, like you just stated, you got all three branches, right? You got all the momentum. That's everything. Once you have the momentum, is very hard to get started, like a train taking off. Once you get it going, it's easy to keep it going. But when you stop again, it's hard to get going again. And it takes a lot of resources to get things rolling again. We had all the momentum, and so whenever you think about these things, it's just so frustrating, like cutting the head off the snake or whatever. It's like, don't go after these people. Don't say you're going to do all these things, and then get all the way up into the, it's like in the movies or whatever where they shoot the guy, but they don't see him die or whatever.
Yes,
and
it's
like,
he's still
always
alive.
gets up, and then that's the end. Then it's like the pendulum. Fuentes kind of mentioned this. The pendulum swings both ways, and once it comes back, they'll be in power again.
Yep.
And they will remember this, And what are they gonna? They have no problem cutting that off the snake. Look what happened, in 2020. Look how hard the censorship was, the deplatforming, like all the things that they did, the imprisonment of lock everybody up. That is a dissent, whatever, it's like we had the momentum, and unfortunately, if we don't start, and that's the unity you're talking about too. I mean, we're fighting about things that are important, but pick your battles. The war is much bigger.
Yes. Well said. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. I don't know. Republicans, man, we're just so good at fucking it up. We are. And I don't know. Do you think there's any hope that, from where we're at right now, do you think there's any hope of the Candace side and the Kirk side and the TPUSA side to put their crap down and say, let's focus on midterms? Let's win the midterms. I don't see it, and I have little faith in it.
Probably not. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong about that. Probably not. But maybe there's others that can step forward and take that up. Because Charlie is gone. They got a good name.
They killed the one.
They got a good name.
Yep.
But is it a turning point?
No.
For the benefit or for the detriment?
Yeah.
It's definitely a turning point, but
not for what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I really wish conservatives would focus on that, is that they are actively hunting us. They are trying to kill us. They want to see us dead. They laugh in the face of any one conservative who dies. Before we got on that Trump live stream that he did, well, not live stream, address to the nation.
It should be live.
Yeah. But, Trump's address to the nation, I was on Fox News. And I was on Fox News. I was scrolling through the comments. Everyone's like, "I hope you die, shitbag." Maybe he'll have a heart attack right on stage. Wouldn't that be glory? Just evil.
That is
vile.
That's. Ugh.
It doesn't stop. I don't know.
I don't get that. And so ever since Charlie has met his maker, I've tried to put myself in a similar mindset, and I just can't do it. I cannot do it. The closest I've come is the Rob Reiner deal.
Yeah.
He wasn't necessarily, he was political, but he wasn't
not the same at all.
But not the same. But that's about as close as I can get, and it's horrific.
Absolutely.
I don't celebrate that, and I think anyone that does is
an idiot.
Really, just a bad person. Morally deficient.
Absolutely. Rob Reiner being slaughtered, maybe by his own son. Is that who they?
That's who. Yeah.
That's who did it. Allegedly.
Without having been there myself, but yeah, that's
what they're saying.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner. And you know what? This is what I got so mad about people with Charlie Kirk. They were like, "I'm sorry he died," but no, I prayers, condolences to Rob Reiner's family. To everyone who loved him. That sucks. I'm sorry. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
No more. That's it on that, because I'm not going to go into I disagreed with him on this, and this, but because everything you say after but's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prayers to his family.
Yeah.
We lost a soul. It sucks. He's a human. God bless him.
Yeah. He said things.
It's that easy.
He said things that absolutely made me sick. Makes zero difference how tragic that was.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't come into the conversation for me.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. There's no justification for that whatsoever. And if you celebrate that,
you're a bad person.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. And I mean, I'm not in a cult.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not in a cult. I thought it was extremely distasteful, Trump talking about it the way he did.
Yeah, it was.
It was tame for Trump. I will say that, but I'm not cool with it. It was completely unnecessary. Didn't bring anybody together. It was a negative gain.
All it did was give the liberal left, like, see, you can't feel bad, or you can't be mad at how we acted with Charlie Kirk dying.
Yeah.
Because your president is doing that too. Touche.
Mm-hmm.
Touche.
Yep.
We have sunk to your level and we are doing that shit. Touche. I hate that we're there. I don't want us to be there. The difference between it is there was a political assassination versus a deranged son killing family. I mean, two completely different scenarios, but like you said, as close as we can get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that we're in this time where people just celebrate deaths, and we gotta get some humanity back. And I say that, but on the other flip side of the coin, it seems like we're closer to civil war than ever. And we're in a war already, so spare no expense, and don't take no survivors, or don't take no prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you want, liberals? Are you wanting to fight, or compassion? Because you can't get both. You know what I mean? And we are in a culture war. We're in the culture war right now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Where people are dying. People are getting stabbed. People are getting shot. I mean, a girl gets stabbed in the neck on a bus. Someone gets burned to death on a frickin' bus. People are losing their lives over this crap.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not sticking up for what Trump said. I'm being devil's advocate here, saying, in war you take no prisoners, and they are killing us. So I can see
they call for violence.
Yeah,
they call for violence.
I can see the hotheads being like, "Well, this is what you want. This is what you get," even though a conservative did not kill him. It was his son.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
It's a scary time.
It's a scary time if you're willing to speak your mind.
Yeah, And we need to go into this. We need to go into like the Muslim threat.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll do that different. I mean, that's going to be a whole topic. But, and by Muslim threat, yes, I mean Islam. If you follow the Quran at its core, it's a violent religion, and Christianity, Muslim, they can't exist with each other if you're following the principles of the Quran.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary about it all. And they're outbreeding Christians 10-1. Won't take them long. I know this wasn't on our talking points today. I just thought about it and brought it up.
The whole thing's been on my mind a lot. That and the someone, I don't know, we're talking about all these big figures who are influential, and lots of people listen to them, and it sways things, and someone like a Nick Fuentes gets a lot of heat.
Yeah.
For, well,
Just
I
saying
mean,
it.
he actually, said he was a racist, so whatever.
God dang.
But, I mean, you see all of these reels all of the time of people of a certain color just walking up and just flooring women, youth of a different color.
Yep.
That's racist.
Yep. And if you thought about the colors, then we didn't do it. You put it in your head, so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we hate them. Just means everyone has to be cautious in today's age.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it. The liberals, they want to say, we don't want to see race. We don't want to see color. But they actively bring us towards a race war by the narratives they push, by the temperatures they bring. They are actively wanting a fight between black, white, brown, all of them. That's what they want. So they can say, see, everything is racist.
Yeah.
Whites hate different colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the ones doing it.
Well, and if you let these people get away with it, all the time, like a lot,
Yeah.
maybe not in Missouri, or at least in Shannon County.
Yeah, not around here.
Not around here.
Go to
but
Columbia or something, you will.
these people do these kinds of things and assault people, women, whatever, and they get by with it. Nothing happens. Women get beat up and they go on and on, and you see that. I don't think that you are racist because you notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're just bombarded all the time with these images, and then you go to a place where you see
That's
people
horrible.
that may be guilty of that, you're automatically, you don't want to be racist, you don't be judgmental, but if you're barraged with all these images of that happening, I mean, you'd be an idiot to just la-di-da-di-da-di-da, not be aware of your situation, that could happen to you if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, well, Nick said something very interesting on his interview with Piers Morgan. And I know Piers was trying to get him, be like, you're a racist son of a bitch,
Yeah.
That was a horrible British accent, but I tried. A racist son of a bitch. That just sounded like a drunk hillbilly. But whenever he said, so you're telling me that if you see a black person walking down the street, you would actively try to avoid him. He said, yes, I would walk into traffic across the road onto the other sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Is it racist? I don't know. Is it true? I mean, yes. If my daughter was, and I'm not saying, okay, say you were downtown Detroit or something.
Yeah.
You're walking down the street on a sidewalk, and someone is walking towards you, and they've got baggy clothes, flat bill hat, everything. I'm going to take my daughter across the street.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I hate them. It means I'm not going to let my daughter get stabbed in the neck or burnt to death. We don't know what's in people's minds right now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people want to see people dead.
Yeah.
So we're going to protect our own. And by our own, I mean like my family and your family. You know what I mean?
It's just preservationism. I mean, if you go into these places and you're... We've become so desensitized that we don't even want to talk about basic things because we're afraid we'll get accused of being racist.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
And
It's
that's what I want us to do is have these hard conversations that
Yeah.
people are too scared to have without the fear of us being called a racist or bigot or misogynist, whatever. West Plains liberals, come on at us if you hate us. But we're trying to have an honest, open discussion here.
if I can't take my family to East St. Louis any time of day, but let's say after dark, is that because I'm racist?
Exactly. No, because you're preserving your family.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't go there because that's a logical argument there. No, I'm not racist. I'm just trying to preserve my family.
I'm trying to preserve what's mine.
I'm conservative. I'm conserving my family.
I don't want them to die at the hands of some psycho.
Yeah.
Or gang. Gang, cartel, you name it. If I was in, do you know where are like the white supremacists stationed out of? We're going to say somewhere down south. I just don't know.
So in a former life, I lived outside of Bloomington, Indiana, and there's a town called Martinsville that was a huge KKK.
Okay, shout out Martinsville.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go Martinsville. We're going with Martinsville.
Sorry, anybody.
We're going with Martinsville. Say me and my daughter are having a nice day in Martinsville, and we see some skinhead Nazi types walking towards us. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to cross the road and go to the other side.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's preserving. We're going to stay away from criminal-looking people. I know that's a a heated thing to say nowadays, but if you look like a criminal, I'm keeping my damn family away from you because my family's not dying.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. I shouldn't say that about Martinsville. Although, if you go to like a secondhand clothing
It's
store,
too late. It's out there.
You could buy sheets with hoods on them.
See?
Just saying.
It's out there.
Yeah.
You've done it.
Yeah.
Shout out Martinsville. It's a great town. Heard it's one of the whitest, the best.
Hoosiers.
Lovely town.
Some Hoosiers. They have the greatest sheets anywhere.
The greatest sheets. They're so white.
And they're not Giza, let me tell you.
All right. After that one. So what do you think about this Dan Crenshaw and Sean Ryan fight going on?
If you're, making lots of money in the stock market, maybe you should do that full time.
You better be careful. Dan Crenshaw or a One-Eyed McCain is going to come after you and sue you. He's going to send you
allegedly.
A cease and desist.
I'm just mad because I picked the wrong crypto, so I'm just upset. I should have took advantage of
Bitcoin.
I should have followed the stock trades of Pelosi and Crenshaw. And
Amen.
done better,
And back when Crenshaw was just starting out, man, I was like, this guy's a vet. Yeah. He's awesome. Yeah. He's going to do so good, and he falls in right with the establishment. And he just churns with the wheels, buddy.
Do you remember the whole Saturday Night Live thing? I can't think of the guy's name. Pete something or other. He's not funny, I don't think, but he was on there and he made some joke.
Is it Pete Buttigieg? No, that's a politician.
Which I think he's running the next time, maybe. Anyway, he made a joke about Dan Crenshaw, having one eye and how he lost it or whatever, making a pretty low blow, cheap shot. And I remember hating that and thinking how horrible that was and everything. And so I had a lot of sympathy for the guy at the time, and then I kind of listened to him and stuff, and I thought, this is just despicable, how this guy was a veteran and making these low blows about him and stuff.
Yeah.
And then now,
get after it, buddy.
Just the things he's been doing.
His one eye sees a lot of corruption.
Yeah, it's like, man. I mean, I still disavow all that, but it doesn't seem like he's a great guy. He seemed kind of rhino-ish a little bit.
Well, Sean Ryan, he publicly shared that Crenshaw's team sent a formal demand letter threatening I'm just going to let people know what's going on because they're probably like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Sean Ryan, he publicly shared that Dan Crenshaw's team sent a formal demand letter threatening a defamation lawsuit requiring removal of content, a public apology, and ceasing of further commentary after Ryan raised questions of Crenshaw's finances and lifestyle. Ryan did not just launch personal attacks. He questioned how a sitting congressman can host what he described as an expensive event on a government salary, a topic many Americans legitimately care about regarding to wealth accumulation and transparency in public office. We live in America. Journalists and commentators should be able to ask tough questions about elected officials without fear of undue legal action. Well,
you would think they'd have thicker skin.
Yeah. Crenshaw demanded that Ryan remove content and apologize could be seen as predatory. This is the news. I'm reading off the news here. Ryan argues that public officials are fair game for scrutiny, which they are. The fear of legal consequences for asking questions about finances might chill speech and reduce accountability, something that is dangerous to democracy. I'm just reading through the quick notes. That way people kind of get an idea of what's going on here.
He said mean stuff about me, and I'm going to sue him.
Literally, that's what it is, And then Crenshaw, he did challenge Ryan to a one-on-one interview.
Well, good.
And
they should do that.
Well, Sean Ryan came out and he said, are you free December 12th? And I don't know where it's went from there. That's what I was looking for. If they were talking about if they were doing the interview, I can't know. But yeah, if you're making a bunch of money and you're sitting in a congressional spot or a Senate spot or a governor spot, doesn't matter. Yeah, we're going to talk about you because you're a corrupt piece of crap. They make a good living anyway.
Yeah,
they really don't. And honestly, I think stock trading on senators and congressmen probably should be banned.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how you would police it.
Yeah.
If you let it go.
Well, they would just find a shell corp or something to invest in for them.
Well, I mean, as far as if you said they can do it, how would you police it? Because the only argument I could build for possibly not would be if it was things that somehow they had no information on, but how would you ever police that? So I would say no across the board. If you're not cool with that, then do something else. Like, if you're in the know about different regulations and all kind of other things, that you stand to make a lot of money, and apparently they're just really good at stock trading.
Yeah.
They're just really, really
better
good
than
at
Warren
it.
Buffett.
Yeah.
What do you think about term limits?
Oh, it's a tricky one.
It is.
That's a really, really tricky one.
I have a unique perspective, which I'm sure a lot of people have. I don't believe term limits for Congress or Senate should be there.
I used to, and I've changed my mind about it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I never thought about it until last year. I was talking to someone in the state government, and he's like, because I was talking, we need to get term limits, all this stuff. He said, why? He said, term limits just get the good ones out and replace it with a more corrupt one. He said, you have more corrupt ones than good ones.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a corrupt one coming up through the ranks.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that got me to thinking about it different was Shane Krauser had some interesting take on that.
What did he say?
Well, I can't remember exactly, but it was convincing about how it wasn't really, like the founding fathers and stuff like that. I mean, those guys were. Think about what would have maybe not got done if there'd been term limits on those guys.
That's true. And that's what happens. You in America with a president, you're getting a new president every 8 years, no matter what. One undoes what the last one does. Nothing ever sticks. Everything's constantly changing. I mean, it's a three-ring circus of chaos.
Well, and I think that's why a lot of Republicans are really frustrated right now because we're almost in 26.
Yep.
Which means
3 years.
it's an election. It's an election year.
Yep.
Everybody's going to be they're not going to be doing anything.
No.
They're going to be campaigning.
Yep.
Well,
and do you know how little congressmen, senators, reps actually work? I didn't even really understand this until I got into politics 3 years ago, but they only work from January until May, end of May, beginning of June.
Well,
and then they go back
that's
for
rough.
That is rough.
That's really rough.
And they're like, we only make $50,000. You work 4 months.
Well, that's why they need a stock trade, though, because
Yeah.
they only work for a short amount of time.
Well, they're off the rest of the time because they have to campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I wish I could work 4 months. It's the only job I know of that pays so good. The poor woe is me politician. They line their pockets with the special interests in the lobby groups, and they work 4 or 5 months a year. And all they do is write bills. You could teach a monkey to write some of the bills that have come out.
We have AI now.
Yeah. I'm sure AI could write some great bills.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, how much do you think that's going to get integrated into legislation? AI, as far as just legal mumbo jumbo that us normal people don't know about or know how to type out or speak on. I mean, that's kind of lifting a barrier on being able to get legislation wrote by the reps.
Mm-hmm.
By AI, not the reps.
I don't know where all that goes. It's
Scary.
Man, what a time to be alive.
It's scary.
What a time to be alive. And then that ties in with the topic of, a couple weeks ago with the data centers and all that stuff,
Oh my gosh. We need to do more on those. We need to really focus. I mean, this world news is fun and everything, but we need to focus some episodes on just what's happening in Missouri, the things to look out for, so people are prepared for what's coming down the pipe.
Well, speaking of Missouri, what's the latest? Have you heard or about the low flying plane situation for minerals and things like this?
That's all I've heard is right now that, and I don't know how private information this is because I got it from a pretty private source, but they're looking for cobalt.
Well, I saw that
In
one of
Missouri.
the things. Yeah.
Okay.
Several minerals.
Yeah, several minerals. Cobalt being a main one because they're running low wherever they're digging it now. And I think these planes I've heard are scanning for that. And here's the thing, landowners, if they come to you and say, we want to put a cobalt mine here or whatever mineral mine it is, you either do it or they're going to go to your neighbor and go under you. So get your money. You know what I mean? I mean, there's no stopping that monstrosity. At least get paid for it.
I wonder how that works. Is it some kind of weird
I'm sure on natural resources.
technology that they scan everything with? Or...
Probably LiDAR technology, where the same way they scan the rainforest for the Mayan, whatever pyramids are in the rainforest. I'm sure it's the same type of thing. And then maybe how dense I'm just going off my head here. I don't know for sure, but maybe how dense the material is. It bounces back a different way or frequency or color. I don't know.
Yeah. I just wonder because there's people. In the middle of nowhere out here where we live. There's people that move way out to be left alone.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be people scanning their properties and
And then seizing. Okay, natural resource, eminent domain. That is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
If there's a natural resource that has a world need, and Farmer Joe has a farm that he's had for 200 years, they don't care about Farmer Joe. They're going to take that farm and they're going to do what needs to be done with it. And if it's by eminent domain, they will do that. And that's what sucks about this is we're not stopping this monstrosity.
Yeah.
On the upside of it, this has very big economic potential for Missouri. And we got to think about that too. Yes, it's going to suck to sell your farm, but will it suck for selling your farm for 10 times what it's worth because of the minerals? That most don't own the mineral rights
If you got somewhere to go to.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing a lot of people don't know is look on your deed. Do you own the mineral rights? I doubt it.
Yeah.
If you don't own the mineral rights, those are not your minerals underneath. You own the dirt on top.
Mm-hmm.
How corrupt and sneaky and snaky is that you own just the topsoil, that everything has been fractioned down and compartmentalized to the point of if you have minerals under your land, that's not your land. Yeah. You don't own to the core. You just own the dirt.
Yeah.
That's
well, that's pretty common. Like, in Oklahoma, all my family live in Oklahoma, and people sell their land and keep the oil rights.
Would it be fair to say you're an Okie from Muskogee?
Yeah, I'm an Okie. I can't change that.
Nice.
I'm an Okie.
I don't have nothing bad against Oklahoma. They went all red in the last election.
Every single county, every single one.
Bravo. Now, if we can get everywhere to do that,
and of course, they have the Cherokee Nation there, where you can go and get free healthcare for Indian.
What does a concerned Indian say?
About what?
Just what do they say? Hey, how are you?
Oh,
that's a bad joke. That is a horrible joke. Don't kill me. So, let's get on the subject, and this is the most important. I probably shouldn't have saved it for last, but we need to talk about it. Amendment 3.
Yep.
I should start off with this because people are probably bored about hearing our incoherent ramblings tonight.
Weeds. Got it from the weeds?
Yes, we do. Amendment 3 is coming to a ballot near you in 2026. What Amendment 3 does is it promises to fix the abortion ballot measure from 2025 that just got passed, which makes Missouri the most liberal abortion state in the United States.
That's so hard to believe.
Up to 9 months right now, you can get an abortion. You can kill a baby. What Amendment 3 does, and I have prayed, I have thought, I have talked to my spiritual leaders who, like my preacher, my pastor, because this has been a rough one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to break it down on my train of thought. And then if anyone has questions, I look deep into legislation, so I kind of know what I'm talking about with this. Right now, Amendment 3 is on the ballot. It's passed. It's enshrined in our Constitution that abortions can happen up to 9 months. Transgender surgeries on children is in our Constitution. That happened because of the initiative petition process, or IP, in Missouri. Initiative petition is where the Democrats, they want to get something on the ballot. They go out, they get 5% of people in the or 5% of registered voters to sign this petition, and then they get a ballot language to the Secretary of State. It gets on the ballot, the people vote on it. In Missouri, for something to get enshrined into the Constitution, it takes a 50% majority plus one. That's all it takes to get something enshrined in our Constitution. Very easy to do. That's how weed has ended up in our Constitution. That's how abortions ended up in our Constitution. So, Republicans failed miserably in 2025 or 2024 on abortion. So, we conservatives, we're like, we need to fix this. And so our legislators and senators, they're like, we will fix it for you because we are the heroes to save the day. They come up with this HJR 73, which is House Joint, and I'm not reading anything here, I'm just talking. House Joint Resolution 73. What this is the Amendment 3 fix from 2024. I'm trying to be very precise here so people can kind of break it down and understand. What this does, they say, is the fix to abortion. To me, it is bullshit. It is not fixing anything. It is causing the exact same problems we have, but it's giving them political campaign candy to give to their voters to say, we did something for you. What this does is it gives rape and incest, which bring up your point about rape and incest as an exception.
Yeah, the incest thing always kind of is ponderous to me. You know, it's like, well, like in how many instances is incest not rape?
So do you think that's just a political word added in there to make it sound better?
It makes me wonder.
Me
you
too.
Know? It's like, oh, I know we're like joking around. You know, it's like I know we're brother and sister and all, but we didn't mean to get pregnant.
Exactly. You know? No, but that's a good point. Is we always say rape, incest together.
Yeah.
But when is incest not rape? You know.
I mean, incest is bad, right?
Absolutely.
But
not
like when you say it like that, it makes it sound like
they're two separate entities.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Every time I ever in my mind play that out, it's never not rape.
Yeah.
Ever. Like
Yeah.
so it's just bizarre to me.
That is very interesting, though, because I had never in my life thought about that until you said, because I'm always used to saying rape, incest, life of the mother as the three exceptions, and that's what you go with, you know?
Yeah.
But I never thought deeper on that, and you did. And that's a very interesting take on that I'm going to be bringing up to a lot of legislators and just asking them what they think on it now. But, okay, back to it. So, this new Amendment 3 fix, and I'm putting that in quotations here, makes it where rape, incest, life of the mother, and fetal anomaly up to 12 weeks, you can have an abortion. What is a fetal anomaly? We don't know. You know, we talked 2 weeks ago. Definitions matter. Defining terms matter. Does fetal anomaly mean if my
9 toes?
9 toes, if my baby has a heart murmur, because lots of babies have heart murmurs when they're born, does that constitute death for this child?
And what if the umbilical cord's wrapped around their neck or something?
Fetal anomaly.
And
see, that's why I cannot get behind this bill. And I know, because right now the establishment Republicans are going to be mad because they're everyone's getting pressured to take a stance on this, and if you're against it, they're automatically saying you're siding with Democrats.
Yeah.
That's like what their thing is. So Senator Mike Moon, he is a pro-life absolutionist. He will not stand for Amendment 3 on the ballot because it creates a secondary class that we are willing to execute.
Yeah.
Can't do it. And I have prayed, I have thought about this, because here's how it works in my mind. Right now, we have the Amendment 3 that passed in 2024, where up to 9 months, babies are getting killed. We have this on the ballot, where some babies will get killed. Me as a Christian man, what do? Do I save as many babies as I can? Or do I not vote for this and we keep the abortion that we have now? And this is what my conundrum has been, and I wrestled with my soul on this, and yesterday is whenever I decided to whenever I had enough information and my soul feels right on how I'm doing it. Like, I feel I'm doing what God wants me to do on this, and it is to say no on this. Because here is the dirty little secret about this right here, this conundrum that these conservative Republican legislators want to throw on you, the Christian man, the Christian woman, the one who have morals and values. And it pisses me off. They put you in this impossible situation where either more babies are going to die or some babies are going to die. If we have a supermajority up in Jefferson City right now, why were we not able to get absolutionists on the ballot where we are saving children? Why do we have to have a second-class citizen right here on the ballot to where if I vote for that, I am saying that child that has a heart murmur, that child that has Down syndrome, that child that has an umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, that it deserves to die? All because the fat cats, and I'm looking at you, Tom Estes. I'm looking at you, Sherry Coltketter. You guys want to say if you don't vote for this, then you are killing babies and siding with Democrats. I reject that claim in its entirety. Because if you were pro-life, you guys would pass some real pro-life legislation that would save the children, not create a second-class citizen that's willing to be killed because you don't deem it necessary or you don't deem it a life. You are sounding just like a Democrat when you do that. God creates life. That baby deserves a chance. I'm sorry, guys, this might be a hard take on this, but if you get a kid that was born out of rape and you get a kid born from two consensual, loving parents, you put them side by side in first grade, and if you can tell me which one was created out of rape and which one had a loving family or was conceived out of love, then we have a discussion. And then you will have to look that child in the eyes one day and say why it wasn't fit to have a life. All children deserve life, a shot at life. The most sacred thing in this world is life. And we are going against our basic biology, our chemical makeup of what we are, to what it means to be human. Why? So you guys can have some campaign candy, some things you can throw to your voters to get reelected? I am sick and tired of seeing this stuff happen on our ballots. I am sick and tired of hearing Republicans up there saying, well, it's the best we could do. That's all we can do. Sorry. If we truly have a conservative majority, if we truly want to fix our problems in Missouri, if we want to save children's lives, create real pro-life legislation, and quit with this half-measured bullshit. I'm done. What do you think, Drew?
That's strong.
Sorry, man.
No, it's good. It's good. It's a passionate thing, and it's something that I think people should pick a side on.
You have to. You can't be in the fence on this stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's either you're killing babies or you're not.
Yeah, and it's it kind of reminds me of like whenever they say you got to vote the lesser of two evils. Like, well, excuse me, I would prefer not to vote for evil.
Amen.
You know,
and that's where we're at right now. Whenever, and it just, I know, like I try to keep a very level head on here. It's just after thinking about this for 4 freaking months, praying, trying to figure out where I stand on this, and I kept going to the same issues in my head. Do I vote to kill all the babies or some of the babies? And I was sitting there mad with myself about each decision I made. Whenever I talk to someone, a person I trust to lead my soul, who knows the Bible, who knows God, who is a mentor to me, and I asked him, I said, listen, I said, I have been wrestling with this. I said, I'm getting pressured to make a stance on this. What do I do? Do I leave Amendment 3 how it stands in our Constitution where any baby can die? Do I vote yes for this? That way only some babies die. And you know what he told me? And I thought this is what did it for me. Do you know what that man told me? He said, when you die and you go to heaven and you give your account before God, will God say, I'm glad you saved some babies?
Yeah.
Or will you have to give an account for the decision you made? Even if it's hard, even if it does nothing right now, will you have to give that account?
Yeah.
And he's right. How can I vote for something so ungodly? I didn't vote for Amendment 3 that's in our Constitution right now, so that blood is not on my hands. But if I vote for this Amendment 3 that's on the ballot this year, that blood will be on my hands because I voted for that. I said, yes, Missouri, there are children that deserve death.
Yeah.
There are children that deserve to be executed in the womb because they aren't perfect by your standards.
Here we go again. Trust the science.
Trust the science.
I mean, there's a lot of things that they say are like that and aren't.
Yep.
I mean, my youngest son, who I love dearly, and everyone who's ever met him loves him dearly, had an umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. You know? Yeah,
and that fetal anomaly, you could have just killed him. Never known that pure, perfect life.
And my oldest son, they said was I can't remember what the percentage was, but they told us that he was going to have Down syndrome, and of course he doesn't. But they were telling us all that stuff. And so how many knee-jerk reactions could kill? I mean, all life is precious.
Yeah.
But even notwithstanding that, there could just be wrong about their assessment.
Yes. Because medical is practicing.
Yeah.
You are practicing. You're not telling it what it is.
Yeah.
And when there is a mistake, they say, "Uh-oh, I'm sorry, but I just practice medicine."
Mm-hmm.
And guys, if you're still listening to this and you got through my rant, and I am sorry that I get so heated on this subject, but it tears my soul apart that Missouri is in this spot to where we have to choose between how many babies die and how many babies die.
Yeah.
And we're getting mad at each other over this ballot measure. And this is what really just pisses me off. I'm sorry I'm using colorful language, but it does. And I'm just, right now, it deserves it because people need to know how serious I am about this. What really makes me so mad about this ballot measure is that our Missouri GOP is setting up there, celebrating that this is a conservative win, that this being on the ballot is a conservative victory for Missouri. And they are actively tearing down any Christian conservative man, woman who sees a problem with it and says, no, I can't vote for this because it doesn't fix it. How many liberal doctors out there, Planned Parenthood, that will just say, yeah, there's a fetal anomaly?
Yeah.
Because there's no definition.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
At the very least, you narcissistic, egotistical legislators should at least define the term of what a fetal anomaly is so we know what children you are okay with killing. I'm sorry. I cannot stand with Amendment 3. And I'm urging each one of you who have been wrestling with this dilemma, who have not been able to figure out what stance to take, who have went through all the information, I urge you to vote no. Because guess what? If we put the pressure on our legislators, they will come up with true conservative legislation that will be tasteful and do what it's supposed to do. This does nothing. That's my whole point. This does nothing.
Yeah.
It's campaign candy to hand out to your voters to say, here, vote for me because I did this. And most voters suck it up like little calves on the tit. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Give me more. Give me more. I'll keep voting for you. Even though you've done nothing for me. But it looks like it. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, oh man, you make a very compelling argument. I think
It's a rough one.
I think it's not hard to understand. For me, it's not hard to understand. I mean, like I say, it's like the not voting for evil. Period. You know, it's like if it's two bad choices, really, and just because one's less bad than the other, why not just have a good choice to make?
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
That's the whole point. Is the GOP in Missouri could have had a good choice on the ballot, but they chose not to.
And if it doesn't pass, at least you knew you put forth a good choice for people.
When we give our accounting, whenever I die, I will look at God and say, I did not vote for children dying, period.
Yeah.
Because I didn't vote for the lesser of two evils. And it puts us in a dilemma.
And people never think about it. Or a lot of people don't think about it. My neighbor was a very wise old guy. He was telling me about he had a cousin who came to him and said, my daughter's, if she was ever to get pregnant, I'd pay for her to have an abortion. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why in the world would you do that? And she's like, well, because she's got a career, she's going to be successful, and I don't want that to. And he's like, well, I sure wish our aunt had felt that way about you.
Exactly. And you know what?
We don't think about that, though.
No, you don't. And it's easy. Okay. We're getting into it again. But I truly believe we are in a battle of good and evil.
Yes.
We are in a spiritual warfare.
Yep.
Yes, sir. We are in spiritual warfare.
No doubt.
I believe in Satan. I believe in God. I believe in angels and I believe in demons.
Yep.
And I believe what we do on this earth matters.
Yes.
I believe every decision we make have consequences or rewards. Mm-hmm. Right now, Satan is doing a damn good job with America.
Yeah.
We have turned into a godless society.
Pretty much.
And when we say that there is a battle between good versus evil, what is more appeasing to the great deceiver himself than a woman willingly sacrificing the one thing she is supposed to love above all else, that she grows in her body, that is part of her blood, flesh, soul, life, willingly giving that up to the abortionist as a sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone wants to talk about, it's child sacrifice. They don't happen. Go look at Epstein. What do you think? They weren't just having sex with those kids.
Oh, my gosh.
There was sacrifice going on. I don't care what anyone says. And if you don't believe that Satanism is real, go look.
Organ harvesting, stem cell
All of
harvesting,
it.
all kinds of things. So what happens to them when they abort them?
Well,
what happens to that?
Once they're aborted, they don't have a birth certificate. So what back to defining terms. Mm-hmm. What is classified as a living human being? What do you have to have? Birth certificate, right? In America, you have to have a birth certificate. I'm sure everywhere you have to have a birth certificate. With that is attached to your own VIN code or your own VIN number, your social security card, right? Mm-hmm. What is stopping these satanic abortionists from taking the baby, up to 9 months, remember, here in Missouri, taking the baby out of the room and saying, let's have a discussion?
Yeah.
What would you like to do? Would you like to abort? We're not saying kill because now that it's outside the womb, it's killing. But let's not say that. Would you like to abort your baby? Yes. Okay. What does that mean? Does that mean they cut the throat? Or does it mean it does not get a birth certificate and it lives until the organs are harvested? Because at that point, it's just a ball of meat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a human. Per our legal definition, if it don't have a birth certificate, is it a human?
And that
is there laws?
Evil.
That is evil at its core.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what we're up against, and that's what we are fighting.
Yep.
I know y'all are gonna. I know a lot of you guys are gonna say this is fringe. I truly know that this is a battle of souls. This is a battle of will. It is good versus evil, and if you make a deal with the devil, don't be surprised when you lay with the devil. You know.
Mm-hmm. And it is sacrificial, you know, like whenever we, the Spanish, I shouldn't say we, European descent, but when the Spanish came over here and basically genocided an entire culture, you know, one of the justifications for that was they were savages and they were sacrificing people and all that. It's like, here we are.
Here we are doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
Giving our firstborn to the Dark Lord because we want to go have fun. We want to have careers, but we should maybe think about that before we have sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know a lot of Democrats will be like, well, until we fix the foster care system, or why don't you adopt kids or so many kids before you have a right to say if the kid lives or not? I say we need to fund foster cares. We need to make adoptions a lot easier.
Yeah.
But either way, children do not need to be dying for irresponsible choices made by man and woman. And I also believe it's not just the woman. Let me be very clear on this. Men do not... I could not imagine being a man.
Really?
That's a clip. That's a clip.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I could not...
I wondered. You get that list pretty good sometimes.
I do. I could not imagine being a man with a pregnant woman, and that woman comes up to me and says, I'm going to abort our child, whether you like it or not. Could you imagine how helpless that feels as a father?
I prefer not to even think about that.
Whenever your sole genetic makeup is to love, to protect, and provide for that unborn baby. Mm-hmm. But your hands are tied.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a few solutions on this. People might call them fringe. One, I think that, you know, my body, my choice bullshit. My baby, my choice. My baby, my choice. Our baby, our choice. If that woman wants an abortion and that dad wants the baby, there needs to be a system set up to where after that baby's born, straight from delivery, it goes to that man. He signs over a check, $25,000, $30,000, it don't matter. Whatever. It's worth the price for a baby. That goes for pain and suffering for the would-be mother that I will never call a mother because she wants to kill her child.
Yeah.
To this birthing canal. She signs over all rights and never has access to that child again because it would be dead anyway, giving the opportunity and her choice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's one. I think that would work. But they would still, well, we have to carry that child to term. I know. Life's not fair. God made you like that for a reason. I'm sorry that you're a woman. I'm sorry that you have to bear a child. And I know you're going to say, as a man, what room do I have to speak on this? To you, I say, I'm sorry, but I have an opinion, and you're going to hear it.
Well, to your point about the not holding about the women issue of that, I think that I don't know if from personal experience, without getting too detailed, but I would never trust that pregnancy decision to the. I mean, I'm responsible for my body.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we are not in agreement that we're going to have a child, then I will be responsible. I'm not going to just trust that the woman's going to take care of however that contraception or whatever method, you know, I'm not going to just leave that. That's a very serious matter. And men need to own that.
Absolutely.
100%.
Men need to step up and be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Men need to step up and be men.
If you don't want children, then that's your choice.
Yes.
Alone.
I saw someone they did a tweet. I sound old. They did a tweet. Someone tweeted the other day. I want to get this right. Hang on. Boy, I wish you could pick your baby daddy. What? You wish you could pick your baby daddy? Someone needs to tell her if I hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
Because you can pick your baby daddy. You can.
Oh, my.
It's a screwed up world we live in. Do you have any thoughts on Amendment 3 on what was shared? What's your opinion? Because I've wrestled with this. That is the best conclusion I've come up with. That's the stance I'm going to be making on Amendment 3. Tom Estes, if you disagree with me, I invite you to come sit down in that chair that Drew is sitting in right now and have this discussion with me. I would love it. What's your opinion?
If you know something's broken, it's always better to fix it than to try to patch it and kick it down the road.
Yeah.
You know?
When you plug a tire, it's going to go flat again. If you put a patch over it, it's going to stay aired up.
Yeah. And how hard is it? You're a lot sharper with how this all works.
Mm-hmm.
How much harder would it be to pass this and then try to fix it better?
Once we pass, that's a great question. Once we pass this, we're not getting any closer on abortion.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to get, and they're going to say, well, the people voted on it. We had to leave those exceptions in there because that's as strong as we can make it. And the whole thing, people are saying, well, they're superseding the will of the voters because it was voted on in 2024. The narrative that was spun during that election cycle, it was dishonest. People did not do their research. Voters didn't know. They didn't do their research on what it truly meant. All they thought, everyone in the tire shop that day I talked to about Amendment 3 said, hey, are you voting on Amendment 3? Yeah, it's going to do good because it's going to open it up to save the life of the mother if the mother's life is in jeopardy. I said, no, it's not. I said, we have that right now in Missouri.
Yeah.
I said, you need to read this. Oh my. This is what it does? I said, yes, this came straight from the Missouri ballot. Okay. And then they changed their mind because the deceptive advertisement, and this is another thing with money, because all the foreign money from different states, all the liberal states, came pouring and flooding into Missouri during the Amendment 3 vote in 2024. They lied to the voter. They told them that it's going to save mothers' lives whenever they're having problems with their pregnancy where they could die. It was all fabricated bullcrap to get this through, and now that it's through, we want people to have a second chance on what it truly is. That's an educated chance.
Mm-hmm.
But all we get is these half measures. What's your opinions on A3? What do you think? You're a voter.
From everything that listened to, I've read a little bit. The way it's confusing. The stuff's very confusing because you read it and you're like, "What is this? What is this? How is this?" That was my knee-jerk reaction. I very briefly looked into it and I didn't see much difference in what we have already. Like I was like, "What?"
It's a way for Republicans to save face.
Yeah.
To say they did something when nothing was done. And I can't stress this enough, and I really just want to stress, I'm sorry. I want to stress this one more time before we leave. We have a Republican supermajority. Our House and Senate is filled with Republicans right now. If we wanted to truly pass conservative legislation, we could do it like that. Anything that's a priority can be done like that up in Jeff City if the Republicans would get behind it. They chose this half measure for a reason, to appease the liberal base, to appease the liberal moderates, to be able to tell their conservative voters, well, at least we tried. We tried something. It's the best we could do. Call your rep, call your senator, ask them, is this really the best we could do? That's all I've got to say on Amendment 3 for now. Anything else?
No, I think I'm pretty well in agreement with you.
It's
a rough one.
It's a fiery one.
It's a very, very, always
it aggravates me to death because I have struggled with this for months. I know I'm no one special, but when I come out in...
Well, you are because you struggle with it.
Yeah.
Most people, I think, they see the sign that says vote no on 3 or yes on 3, and that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. They
saw a sign that said vote this way on this, and that's what they do.
That's very true. And I just want people to understand the sneaky little tricks of Jefferson City that most people are not privy to.
Yeah.
I am thankful that I have been up there. I've seen the belly of the beast. I get to talk with these guys, and a lot of them are really good guys and women that are trying to do right for our country, for our state. But there is those few that screw it up. No, the majority. There's a majority that screw it up, threaten the good ones, use their money against the good ones, have their lobbyists use their money, their special interests. They'll make an ad campaign saying someone is best friends with Xi Jinping, all on like an insecticide bill or something that just so dumb, but they know how to keep their boot on people's neck.
Yep.
The ones brave enough to speak out, they get primaried. The HRCC, and guys, as a Republican, I go after Republicans a lot more than I do Democrats because I hold my party to an absolute standard of conservatism. The HRCC will just fund a candidate, and they'll give them all the money that their coffers need, and they'll come out and say, this guy, he's a conservative, he is a champion of life, he is a champion on freedom, he's, the normal bullcrap you get during elections. Then he gets in there, they get with the establishment and say, all right, boys, let's go play a round of golf. What bills did this lobbyist tell us we need to file? Let's do that. That's as far as their mind goes into this important, honored process of legislation for Missouri. Another thing I want to say while we're on this subject is we have so many bills filed, so many laws put in year after year, yet not one bill is taken out. I really wish we would see a House and Senate session to where not a single bill gets filed. I know this is crazy, right? We're going to be talking about shortening the government's impact on people until they fix the contradictory bills, the bills that are against the people, the ones that were done unconstitutionally, because in Missouri you have single subject billing that never gets done. Until we fix that, until we go through our laws and see which ones need taken out, which one contradicts, which one is 40, 50 years old that makes no sense anymore, until we shrink that book of bills, I don't think another bill needs passed. I think we start there, guys. I think it starts with supporting good grassroots candidates, Christians, who want a better tomorrow for Missouri, for the people, who wants smaller government, who wants the government out of your life, wants you to have your privacy, doesn't want you to have a social credit score to where you can't buy a house if you speak out to whatever political side you're on. And that's where it's all heading, guys. Mark my words. Call me conspiracy theorist. Call me an Alex Jones. I don't care right now because this is the truth. I see the writing on the walls and you should too. Now is the time to get energized. Now is the time to activate as a base. Now is the time to ask questions to your reps, to your senators, to your governor, to your secretary of state, to your attorney general. Get involved before you're not allowed to get involved anymore. Freedom is one generation from away, and you can vote yourself into communism, but you're going to be fighting your way out of it. I think that's all for tonight. Any last words there, Drew?
Amen.
Amen.
Christ is King.
Christ is
Glory
King.
be to God.
And this is a sacred month. Jesus is born King, still King, will always be King. Whether you believe in him or not, he's your King.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you all. Have an amazing night.